Hi everybody, this is Diane and I want to show you the book that I made for a swap on Junk Journal Junkies Facebook group. This swap is for a journal made with a children's book cover. I have lots of little golden books, so I chose one of the oldest ones that I have, which I just love, and it's called Mr. Noah and His Family, and this book was made in 1948, so that's pretty old. It was in kind of bad shape because of its age, so it had a white background which showed the dirt, and I put gesso over it, which really helped. I kind of wanted to go with the grungy look of the book, so I just gessoed over it and then wiped a lot of the gesso off, but it did help to disguise some of the dirt, and then I put Mod Podge over it so it wouldn't have that chalky feel. And to help with the edges that were so worn, I just wrapped this really pretty plaid fabric around the edge. That fabric, that plaid, is just perfect with the colors in this cover. So I just wrapped that around the front of it, the entire length, and then I just also added a yellow and white stripe and this piece of blue wide bias tape. Also, I love the floral fabric that goes so well with the colors here. And I added some trim down the spine and some red rickrack, which I just think all the colors of this cover just all work together. And I love the illustrations. And then I did a collage on the back. You can see the border of the very old golden book. But I think it was scribbled. Yeah, you can see a little bit of ink there where it shows, the back of it shows through there. Somebody had scribbled it with pen. So I did a collage. It's got an old map page, scrapbook paper here, an old paper doll dress. This looks like Betsy McCall from one of the McCall's magazines. And this is a shorthand book page that I stamped this label on. The ink smeared a little when I put the Mod Podge on, and then there's another label stamp from a book about writing with a fountain pen, so it has alphabets on it. A Tim Holtz piece here, and I think this is a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera too. It has 3 signatures. I made a soft spine. The spine was made with a piece of the green file folder, and then I put vellum over, not vellum, Tyvek. I put Tyvek over it, which is a material. This is Tyvek, and you can't tear it. It's really tough, and I put that on all my spines. And then the fabric, so it should be a very sturdy spine, but it is flexible. There are videos on my YouTube channel that show a lot of the process of making these golden book journals that I just made. The inside wasn't marked up, so I left it. It does have a little gesso at the top from where I gessoed the front, but I left it there. I like it. And this fabric here I liked, and I put some gimp trim there. So, as I said in the previous video where I showed the other 2 golden books that I made, I just threw everything into these journals. There's no theme. I did not include the entire story. I put one page, one spread from the story in each signature. I didn't want to make it a whole golden book story. I just wanted to make it a journal that was very eclectic and had all kinds of things thrown in it. So I got out my box of handmade ephemera that I have made, and I've been just storing it, and I've used some of it, but I still had a lot. So I got that out and decided I was going to use it. I'm going to use journaling cards and some of my printed digitals and playing cards and things that I just have a lot of. So I just started throwing stuff in here. This is one of my favorite pieces, and this is from an atlas, and of course it's a globe. And I love that it's so big. So I folded it in half and I tore pages of coffee dyed paper so that they would fit. And I backed the map with this dyed paper. And I love this little booklet, and I sewed it with the baker's twine. And things that are clipped in with different colors of these pretty teardrop paper clips. And here we have a pink and white index card with this really pretty rosebud fabric ruffled at the top. Oh, and it's purple on the back. This is a collage pocket that I collaged onto an index card with just some scraps of fabric, and this is a genuine cigarette card. This is a tag that I Mod Podged a napkin to. And here's the first page of Mr. Noah, and it does have the date right there, 1948. There's a piece of stationery, lined stationery, that has a picture of Mary's bears having tea. And here we have some white mulberry paper, very pretty. This is a sheet from a book about writing with a fountain pen. I think it was put out by Speedball. And somebody sent me this booklet in the mail, in a Happy Mail. So I love those pages. And this is just a stamp that I stamped onto some cardstock. This is from a Childcraft book. And there's a collage on file folder that someone else made. They sent me some handmade ephemera in a Happy Mail, so I included that in here. And this is a digital seed catalog journaling card and an oblong playing card. This is a vintage yearbook page from the 50s. I love it. And there's room to write on the back. At the top is a piece of a vintage kitchen towel, yellow and white checked, and then this piece of beadsack fabric cut in a banner shape. This is a thick and textural piece of handmade paper. And in the center of each signature is a envelope from stationery, and inside each envelope is 2 of the seed packet digitals. And while I had the envelope open, I sewed something to the back, and this one is a vintage miniature playing card. I love it with the little houses on it. This is a fussy cut flower from a digital. And then I did a collage on this page with a paper doll dress, and this is a printable that you can write on, another punch out from something that you can write on. Somebody sent me this in a Happy Mail, this little kitty cat. And so you can journal on this, and this is kind of, it gives you a place to journal. It covers up the text here and also gives you an idea of something you can do with this journal. On pages that you can't really write on, you could glue something on it that you could write on. Or you could do a collage on it and have fun. Journal on some pages, collage on some pages, do whatever you want. There's another fussy cut of a digital, and I love how that looks against that black and white page. Some fabric glued or sewn to the mulberry paper. And there's a really beautiful vintage miniature card sewn onto this page. This is one of my ephemera pieces that I had made. It was a longer strip, and I cut it in half. I put half of it in one of the other books, and I sewed this one in here as a pocket. And I made a postcard out of a piece of cardstock and Mod Podged a napkin to it, and then added this really pretty painting image. And then there's a flinch card tucked in there. This is a scrap of manila file folder, and I just inked around the edges and added this dolphin from a dictionary. Made this tag with my Cricut, and there's a journaling card tucked in there. This is from an old game. I put this page in upside down. It's from a Currier and Ives book, and it just has prints, pictures of the prints that they put out. And it cracked. Those pages cracked when I folded them, so I reinforced it with paper. This is from a book about antiques. So this is some kind of a lacquered tray. And I just cut it out and sewed it to a piece of coffee dyed paper, and you can journal on it. This is from a Childcraft book. Has a library pocket, and I Mod Podged napkin to it and adhered some vintage book paper and a cigarette card, and I put 2 cards, journaling cards, inside. Some fabric sewn up there. This is from a book about, I think it's from Avon, and it was a book about, maybe it was for teens, I can't remember, but it was old, as you can see, and it was about grooming and etiquette and things like this. So this page is about being on your best behavior when dining out. This is some handmade paper. Cards in there. This one has a fussy cut flower that I sewed on there. I put this little miniature card in there and sewed it on too, but you can tuck something in there if you want to. The card doesn't come out, but you can use it as a tuck spot. And this is just something you can write on, and a fussy cut flower. A collage here that you can journal on. Some more bits of vintage fabric. There's a vintage miniature card from Disney, and it's the Big Bad Wolf and his 3 sons. Another shipping tag with some pictures from a vintage dictionary of an African elephant and an Indian elephant. And then we have the last signature, which starts with a pocket from a mini album that I had made years ago, which I never used, and I took it apart, and I'm using the pieces of it in other creations. So this one has a flap. You can write here, you can put pictures here, and you can do what you want here, put pictures there if you want, and tuck things in there. So this is another piece of ephemera that someone sent me in a Happy Mail that she had made. So I included that, and I just put a couple cards in there and another journaling card tucked in there. There's a tag that I made from scrap paper with some bits sewn to the top. This is a card I made with a piece of scrapbook paper and coffee dyed paper. I punched a hole there and put some vellum in the middle. It's got polka dots. Can you see the polka dots? Sewed around that, and then sewed around the edge, so you can journal on that. Fussy cut flowers. This is a digital from the Mushroom Market. She did collages and then made a digital kit with her collaged pieces, and so they make beautiful tuck spots and pockets. This page is from a book about movies. This is like a black, kind of a handmade feel paper, and it's got some silver flowers on it. Miniature playing card. There's a collage here with a bird on there. This is a card that my friend, love that elephant, my friend from Canada sent this card to me, and it has a French quote on it, and she had sent me several of them in a Happy Mail, and she put a sticky note on each one with a translation, so I included that. You can remove it if you want to, but I did want to include it so that you would know what the quote said. This was a collage that I made on a portion of a coffee dyed envelope, and it just has a bunch of bits that I had lying around, and I made a collage out of them quite a while ago. So I decided to put this in here as a tuck spot. And at the end of the book, there is a pocket and I put the words my favorites, so you could use this booklet if you want to write about your favorite things, your favorite food, your favorite songs. You just make each page a different, or cover that up with something else and use the book for whatever you want. So this will be for my partner, whoever I get partnered with, for the swap about children's book covers on Junk Journal Junkies. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon with my next project. Bye.